Hello and welcome to some Factorio. My name's Trismegistus and this is my aesthetic Factorio series. I will just switch that over. I need to get one of them Steam Deck thing. Not Steam Deck, I've got a Steam Deck. Stream Deck where you press the buttons and it does it all for you. Anyway, map's obviously loaded up already because it takes a small ice age to load it up, so it's already up and running. I will be totally honest. As per usual with this series, I've completely forgotten where we are in terms of what I've done, what I need to do. So we need to work that out first, I guess. I seem to remember that I was trying to hook up the actual... Why have I got a gigantic set of belts over there? I was trying to hook up the actual production. Yes, and here we go. We've got one set of smeltery on the go. Or built. Okay, and I was hooking that up, was I? Righto. Okay, these are the supporting things. I remember this bit. Yeah. So presumably, I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Huh. And then the rest was all going in there? I think that's what I was struggling with, wasn't it? Trying to do the maths of what I'd done and not done. I've also clearly just discovered that that's either too long or too short. Let's go and have a look. So was I trying to do one gap? And I'd realised that this was therefore too close. Looks like that was probably the case, doesn't it? Have I got, excuse me, got anything to go on? Oh. Probably need to make these a little more consistent, don't I? That's not a very good thing there, is it? Why have I even got a doobry there? And then... So we've got... We've got... one... So obviously this series, this aesthetic series, is me attempting to build like attractive looking factories, or as attractive as you can get them in Factorio. And a big part of that is... game audio seems a bit quiet there. Ooh, why is it all the way down at... Oh, I know. That's probably a bit too quiet still. Yeah, hopefully that's okay. Or at least vaguely audible, even though it shouldn't be too loud. Tried to keep it a bit lower in this series, because when you do the mass placements, it does place all of the sound effects at once, and it's like horrendously loud. Yes, so I was trying to work out, I think, how I was going to do this, because we've got, effectively, we've got like 1, 2, 3, 4 tiles with a 2 gap there. So it'd be good if this was, you know, sort of roughly consistent. So we've got, I sort of got that there. Is that as far as that'll reach? Yeah, that's as far as that'll reach anyway. So I think, yeah, 1 tile gap around the edge is probably where we need to be. Do I adjust this? So it's just a one, you know, a one thing entrance. I think that makes some sense. So I don't know why I've put a thing like that. Probably be better if something like that, maybe. Because this is like the belt, you know, belt corridor, basically. Okay. So what? Yeah, all of this needs to move up one, doesn't it? Because if I'm going to have 3 lanes of stone there, Is that... yeah, that's gravel, isn't it? Yeah, then we need a tile there. So all of this needs to move up like one tile. Ah, it didn't work anyway because... okay, well let's just do this for now. We have to do it for the map, aren't we? Because we know this bit needs tweaking. Pop that in. But I need to get stone into these, don't I? There we go. So if I copy this, like this, maybe if I copy multiple, that'd be slightly easier. Like that. Obviously they need to go anyway. I kind of didn't say like Happy New Year yesterday. I titled the stream like Happy New Year or something, but I didn't actually say it on stream. Didn't really occur to me. Right, okay, so we've got 8 lanes of bricks there. No, we haven't. We've got 6 lanes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lanes of bricks. And that's what I think these were going to be, basically. So this would be some arrangement like that. Because these are the ones that are just going straight on the train. But the point is, if we got 6 lanes of bricks here, we need 12 lanes of stone. And is this 12 lanes? It's not going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's only 6, you see. Now 3 lanes of... 4 lanes of coal. I don't think I need that much coal, do I? So I think basically I need to move this up and then have a second, you know, belt corridor, basically, on the other side. So that brings the stone in there, and then it's got a mirror on the other side. Because these are 1, 2, 3, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think it's just because I've copied this one in and just left that one there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. So basically it's going to have to all move up by enough room to put all the stone in, and then we'll just have a gap here, basically. Yeah, okay. I like that concept. What, if anything, was I going to put underneath these? I think I can just get rid of them. Because we need to get power to it as well. Well, we've got power there. Because these are all sort of random, basically. I wonder what's coming through there. Because that's... oh, it's up here, isn't it? So it's lots of iron and coal. Okay. Okay, that's fine. In fact, let's tweak that so I don't forget. I say this every time I stream either one of these series. I spend like at least half an hour trying to work out what the heck I'm doing. Or was doing. What I was thinking. What was I thinking? Yes, let's put them in there. And I'll just get rid of them. Yeah, because I'm happy with that as, you know, looking like that. Yeah. So this will have to move. Oops, move up. Move up. Whoop. But that's fine. Don't really want that looking like that, do I? Looks a bit naff, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Yeah, okay. That's fine. They're whatever. It's not very like even layout, but that's okay. Okay. So am I putting fences between each of these, or is it just a big production hall? I think a big production hall is what I'm going for. But so, what have I done underneath here? So I've just gone like very simple, haven't I? With just stone brick and concrete. Okay, let's do the same then. So if we say concrete under there to wherever it needs to be. Have I put concrete under all the belts? I have. Okay. So if we drop that to one tile, go across there. So wherever it ends up. Same here. Like that. No, one more. There we go. And then just stone underneath the actual or whatever they're called, smelters, foundries. Okay. And then I presume some gravel here. I do remember the problem with the whatchamacallit, the burner inserters, because there's no way to fuel them in the middle. Okay, and then the concrete grid there, and presumably there, and then some gravel underneath that. And then these wooden bores, which are kind of awesome, but I've only just discovered that. Okay. Grab it again. Oops. There we are. Yeah, whatever. Okay. Because I'm going to have to do lane mixing, aren't I? If I'm putting coal down the middle, down the outside too. That might be interesting. But so, how am I powering this? So, if we want a substation, say here, can we get that to work and look okay? Because we could have. I mean, we're going to need, you know, this basically on this other side again. So, can't see the gate, there we go. And I guess in theory it would be there, but if we put the gate there, and then gate there, so if that was our edge, and we want a belt, I don't know how far, yeah, like that, one closer, okay, I'm wondering, could I move, since this had room to spare and has room to spare, can I maybe or maybe I can move that in one? And we can use gravel there. Because we need to do the same here. And that could be, oops, like that. Or maybe those go to there or something? Like that, maybe? Yeah, that's not too bad. Okay. And if this is... although... yeah, it needs to be one further over, doesn't it? So I want gravel there, I think. So that concrete grid needs to be there. So if I move this like that. Okay, so let's fill it all in. See what it looks like. Am I putting multiple doors on? Not sure. So, gravel, like that. Although I guess really that would be like that. Don't know what I've got on the other side then. So I've got that as a 2er there. Probably should be a 1er. Okay. So I haven't got any lights on any of this. I was wondering about maybe using these. Because I haven't really used them at all. Anyway, let's also put some other lights in, like coloured ones. Should I put black lights on? That's a bit weird, isn't it? Don't really have a grey light, I don't think. Yeah. So I can put black lights on. That's what they call, whatchamacallit, isn't it? The, ultraviolet. They call them black lights. For some reason. Could I get one of them on the other side as well? No, not really. Okay. Yeah, I quite like that. Okay, so let's see if I can remember how to do this. So if I go like that, and also get the tiles, and then do a quick correction. I didn't put any gravel underneath the thing. That doesn't. That's no big shakes. Great shakes. So we want 2, and now let's be brave and get rid of these. Okay, and then we want 3, 4, 5, 6. And now we see whether we're anywhere close to there. That's not far off, is it, size-wise? And what have we got here? So because we could easily put an extra one concrete in. It's still too short there, though, isn't it? Okay. But we could have this be a continuing, as in a walkway, basically. So this could be going all the way across here. Oh, in fact, that's perfect then, isn't it? And we could have, you know, a fence there of some description. I'll have to work out exactly how, but... oh, it's awesome that matches up. That's a good coinky-dink. Let's get the gravel on, oops, as well. Let's just leave that open for the time being. Across there. Yeah. Because this will extend further. This doesn't have to be there, does it? Is that... Can it do one more? So we can have the gate there. Oops. Gate there. Obviously need to decide whether this is this the outside of the factory or the, you know, still inside or whatever, but yeah, that works. Cool. Hey, I'm glad that's matched up. But we need to put the gravel on here because this was, I forgot this. Gravel there. Except of course I also need, oops, one bit there underneath the actual door. Guess this should probably be a 2 since it's at the bottom, or have I just done... No, I've just done one at the bottom there as well. Okay. And then this, I mean, as per usual, I'll just block this in as concrete here. And then come up with some pattern later on. Doing my best to avoid a certain famous symbol that always accidentally seems to crop up when you're messing about with patterns in Factorio. You know, bricks and concrete and stuff. Okay. So we need a mix, like a mixing awl in a sense. Mixing awl? A mixing awl? Oh, that's the wrong one. So I'll just sort of block ourselves a bit of stuff in. We can have a think about that. Okay. So as I say, this needs to go up, and it needs to go up by X. So this needs to be... So the middle one's a pure stone. We know that. These are pure stone. So that should be 6 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. The outside ones need to be half stone and half coal. So what's a sort of neat way of doing that? We'll just put a bit of space in so it doesn't look all cramped together. I mean, then there's the one everyone seems to quite like, of that sort of design, isn't there? What would that look like from a... Well, you could also do it that way. I don't know why I did it that way around, but I did. Because we would have... Because I kind of know that, you know, coal is not going to be that heavily used, because it's one of my relatively recent revelations that actually coal is not that significant. You know, the consumption of it is not huge. So we could do a bit of a pattern here, because we need this to repeat essentially. Where would it be? It'd be there. I guess that's uneven because, so, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. So it's because it's 2 in the middle, so I suppose really it should be that. And then, you know, that's the extra one there. So this could be stone. Because basically this becomes half a lane then? Is that right? Does that make sense? So basically we've got, have I got a combinator? So this is the coal. I had 3 lanes of coal. Let's put stone brick in here and see if I can get if it'll tell me how much. Because I don't think it does it with the max rate calculator. No, it won't tell me how much stone I need. Fast. No. So I could kind of gamble. I mean, it's only 6 lanes. I mean, we could test it. Well, that's the point. They're going to be backwards then, aren't they? So what I actually need... Oh, I don't know. Why did I do that? So these actually need to go to the furthest one? Yeah. So if we put now, otherwise I'm going to have to cross them all over basically. So get rid of that, get rid of that, 3, 4, hang on, and that, oops, oh, there's a bit of concrete missed there. Okay. Cool. So those are the outputs. Is that right? Yeah, those are the outputs. So if I put an eater, I'm going to have to get rid of this anyway, so no great change to doing this, but if I put a matter void here, I'm going to have to power this up temporarily, but that's no problem. Let's just pop one over there. So I'm thinking of running the power, like power along here actually, and then having a bit like I've done on the other one, but where it leaps, jumps across each time, which is why I'm trying to leave a little bit of a gap. But basic point is, we need to feed in. Do I need to do it for all of them, or just test? I guess I could. If I put all of them in and see how it works, because I can basically these two need to be stone. Like both lanes of stone. So if we do that, and then put matter sources in there. I'll just put the stone ones in for now. But yeah, basically we need one of these for every one of these. Get rid of that. Although I'm going to have to move the thingy over, aren't I? That'll actually have to move over 2 each time. That's fine though, we can fine tune that later. Oh, I put all this... What a silly Billy. So let's let them all fill up with stone. And then we'll plug in the coal. But the coal basically comes through. And the question is, can one lane of coal sustain it? It's a bit unfortunate that that doesn't... Oh, it does reach all the way. Huh. But obviously not there. Because that reaches all the way across there. But then it's only a short hop there, isn't it? How about then... make this underneath ground. Like so. And then, oh, that one as well. Not that we need that one, but... and then I make this just a continuous line of coal. Oops. It's a bit tidier, isn't it? So everyone has filled up with stone. Yep, cool. And they're all ready to go for coal. So what we're trying to see, basically, is if this feeds in a full lane of coal, is that enough to run all of the smelters? We'll have to leave it running for a little bit. So I've put 4 lanes of coal here. But we shall have to see. We shall have to see. Oh, it's doing this thing. Because I've copied and pasted it. These guys don't have any fuel, which is bizarre. Why does it do that? I'll just run across and manually stick them in. I don't know why it does that. Because it should put them down with the reserve. They have like enough power, which is what I was talking about this last time. I think it's like a weird sort of artifact of the game where a burner inserter has enough power when it's built to fill itself up with coal, which makes no sense whatsoever. Because where is it getting that energy from if its energy source is burning coal? Okay, so they've all got some stuff in, so they will at least work. What we're effectively looking for is these guys saturate, because that's the other thing, they're going to have to run the actual, you know, burner inserters as well. I shouldn't have put that much coal in then, should I? Because it'll take ages for them to get rid of that. Oh well, we'll see. Essentially, this it saturates basically. So it's sort of, can it cover everything? Is the big question. Because I don't actually mind. I think a second one on the outside might be quite cool. Anyway, so we might put one in. But you see, we are getting some coal already coming down. So I mean, though, it's only tiny little gaps in the lane, and that's all the all the coal it's using to do all of that smelting. But anyway, we want to see if these can saturate. That's the big question. If these saturate, then we are okay with one. And I might just put a second one on, just just for the sake of it, in a sense. So this isn't saturating yet, which is a bit odd. Oh, there we go. Oh, I missed this one there. You see what I mean? It's like, I think when it puts them down using creative, it doesn't put the power in each one, which is weird. But it is what it is. So they're all fueled up now. So I mean, it sort of ticks down so slowly. And it puts loads in. So yeah, it's backing up on the belt. So let's wait for it to saturate here. Nearly there. I wonder why there's that one missing stone there. Have I missed one off? No. Can't see any problems, and I did copy and paste it. It's a bit odd that this is getting just on one side. It's occasionally missing a brick. Suggests there's something slightly wrong somewhere. I mean, some of these are pausing without... Huh. I mean, this isn't quite flowing properly, is it? So I mean, it's sort of stuttering there, which suggests it's not properly filling the belt. It looks full. Oh, interesting. I've never been that big a fan of doing it this way, if I'm honest. I wonder if maybe if I just revert it back to a regular... It's odd as well that it's only happening on the first one. So I guess I need to move this down, don't I? Is that... Oh, that's max length. Maximilium length. Still doing the stuttering thing. Are we getting better? You get a problem as well because they put too much in. So because it overfills it, that's even worse, isn't it? There you go. Because it overfills it, it sort of starves the ones further down. Oh, and these... I almost put it with coal there. So. Because we've got to put balances in as well. Not quite sure where I would fit the balances, but... I wonder if that would make it better. So it's weird that it's just this first one. Oh, no, the others are doing it. Look. Do I care? I'm not sure I really care. Let's do it for curiosity's sake. So if I put... I can't remember if I've got a balancer, lane balancer here or not. Anyway. So what would it be? It would be... Don't normally build them like this. So, in fact, get rid of you. I can I can only build it this way around. No, it's that one, isn't it? There we go. Okay. So that needs to go, say. In fact, let's flip it over. So it would be what? So I guess that one. No. That one's the one I need to split. And that one's just lane balanced. Alright. Is that improved? Is that worse? Is that better? Huh, that's interesting. Can't keep up with the belt. Because I need to feed this with 2 lanes, don't I? Express belt. Yeah. So burner inserters aren't going to work at all because they can't keep up with blue belt. And that's the source of the stutter. It's not any balancing issue here. It's because these can't quite do the business. But it's only sort of momentary. So I guess the point, I'm not... We'll trigger the biters outside the thing if we have too much pollution. So the question is whether I sort of care about that. I don't think I do. I mean, fundamentally, it's going to sort of load up onto a train. And so, you know, there's going to be a buffering effect, which is going to cause a sort of a slowdown in the system. But I don't think I fundamentally care. Okay. You know, I don't really need all this stone. I'm like mostly doing it, you know, for the sake of it in a sense. Right, so I guess first question is whether I'm doing, you know, doing it like that. Where does that reach to? Only down to there. How far? So we'd have it be like that. Yeah, okay. Oh. So we want stone coming in there. And then sort of trouble with that is I've just built that like that, haven't I? Line that up with that there. Yeah, okay. Let's go with that design. So if I just sort of get rid of all of this. And then this is the basic design. And how am I moving it over by 2? How am I moving it over by 2? Because, well, I guess it would be an underground, wouldn't it? But because I need to hook it up to those two, in theory. But I could also, other option, is move that over. That bit as well. Yeah, okay, so I want to take this, move it to there, take that, move it to there, and this one, put it there, and then last one there. So you get these feed up lanes, feed down lanes rather. This seems like too many. I guess it should be 12. Which is a point that's too big, isn't it? So we then got 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So it is right, but it's too many. We need half of it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So because we need to be able to, do underground belts, I guess, at some point. So we need a 2 gap in there. Okay. Let's hook everything up and then test it again. Apologies for the green screen. If anyone is watching, I'll probably be going nuts. I can't work out how the green screen works on OBS Studio. It seems to be incredibly sensitive. Streamlabs rather. Whereas OBS Studio was just like super simple. It just seems to go a bit nuts, really. So these need to move up by 13 lanes. Crikey. So will that be 15? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Let's give that a go. See what that looks like. Because this would be... Oh, I can't remember where they need to be. So it needs to be that. And say there. And then we want... not quite far enough. There for the other 6. Where is that? And that stone is going to the gravel, I think. So we need to move it. I guess I could put 1 coal, you know, so it becomes 4 then as well. But yeah, all of this needs moving up again. By 2 tiles, I think it was. So we need... Okay. Let's get rid of all that. Actually... Where's that? Is that lined up properly? Yeah, okay. So, I'll just put the concrete in as well. Like so. It doesn't make a noise when I do that. That's weird. Yeah. So gate here somewhere. Gate, fence. And then whatever I decide to do with access to the main. Belt halls. Cool. Put the gravel in. Ah! Really, that should be 1 further down, shouldn't it? Ah! Oh well. That's fine. We'd lose the perfect alignment on the other side as well, wouldn't we? As that, I could of course not do the splittery one. Go through there. Because then I could, you know... Oh, well, I'd have to do the splittery one with a coal. Yeah, it doesn't make any difference, does it, for the coal? Oh well. Oh well. But anyway. Oops. So we want 1 of them. Like so. Wait. Oh yeah, the coal's on the other one. Do 1 of them. This is the coal. Awesome sauce. Get rid of that. And let's... How hooked up are these? I could test everything. Couldn't I? Not hooked up at all, that's the answer. Up now? Well, no, they're not. Do these match over here? Yes and no. Because those are the bricks. So I could take out... Well, let's actually put these on the other side. So let's do that. And then that... And then at the very ends here, I think I'll swap in some void ones. to work tomorrow. Not really looking forward to it, to be honest with you. Hopefully it'll be relatively quiet, but I don't know. Still not. Still feeling that this job isn't really for me. But I don't know what I would want to do otherwise. Could try and become a content creator, but I think the legacy of... well, it takes an awful lot of effort. You either need to be... well, have some kind of other appeal, as it were. Or you need to really put in the effort. It's not an easy job. Oops. Okay. So if I... huh. Oh, that's because that's meant to be. Okay. So if I do that... and then presumably we need a fence there as well. Bit of gravel. Already got gravel on there. So I've got one door at the top there. I think I'll do the same down here. So they aren't quite perfectly matched, are they? Because really there should be a wooden one there. But so basically this should go out onto a wooden walkway here. And here doesn't make any sense, does it? It's a weird noise. But yeah, I'll work out sort of the outside of the factory, I think, but yeah, this needs to be a wooden walkway, I think. I'm trying to do this a bit different with the safety features and stuff. As in, this is less safe because it's meant to be sort of, you know, a bit more rough and ready, I guess, as a factory. Oh. I guess some sort of damning indictment of safety. But anyway, get distracted. Yeah, I need to work out what I'm doing with gates, I think, because I've got them sort of weirdly all over the place. I'm like, there's no way of accessing this now. So it needs to be some sort of gate thing going on. Oops. And then I guess actually this should be like that. Yeah, and then whatever. Yeah, I don't mind the one access point for that. I think that's fine. Well, I should probably put one on the other side. This is the edge of the factory. Gravel as well. Or, well, I guess the edge of the manufacturing hall. Need to work out what I'm doing with the outsides of the factory. This is a weird bit, isn't it? Maybe... it's an access way or something? Or a path across, maybe? Keep putting gates in where I don't really want / need them. So where's the middle of this? 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this is, these two are the centre point, I think. Yeah. Okay. And does that want to be there, or does it want to be at the bottom? It's 3 tiles, isn't it? Oh. Oh, I could make that up. 1 door to match on the other side there. Oh. Okay. Okay. So what have I got power cable wise? Would have actually made more sense if the power connections were here, wouldn't it? I don't suppose they'll reach. Trouble is, that means tearing up the whole thing. No. So I was thinking I could put, you know, the power cables here, sort of thing. But I'd need a hop across the thing anyway. I suppose I can get those to connect as well. Yeah, I can. Okay. Yeah. It's taken my cable away. Why has it done that? Cheeky thing. There we go, it's a bit better. And then I don't know where this would be. Is that likely to be there? I guess we don't know, do we? Well, I'm thinking, basically... yeah. So I need some sort of more sensible... no, let's just put a door there as well. But yeah, so this could go, you know, running across. Like so. And then, you know, I can work out how I'm connecting it all, but if we just power this one up, because this is out of the way, that should be everything powered at this end. Yep. Right, so let's do the big test. Find out everything I've done wrong. Am I hooking all of those up? No. Only those ones, okay. Okay. So we want kind of all of these. Them. So loads and loads of stone. That one, those ones. That one and that one. And then we want copper. We want iron ore. There. And then we want coal. Okay, let's let that all work its way through. And in the meantime, I think I'll just get rid of a lot of this. Because basically I can just copy this onto the other side. And this is just going to be a flip now. Assuming this does cope. But basically, where's that coal going? Oh, that's been converted into gravel, isn't it? But yeah, this needs to be this same 12 and 1 thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that actually might be okay. Because then we've got... it is slightly uneven though, isn't it? That's a bit annoying. Because this is barely even moving. I guess it's not properly drawing from the... coal for the burner inserters yet. Because it's still full. Anyway. Just get rid of all that. And then, if I... What do I want to copy? I want to copy... Do I want to copy that? Yeah, let's copy everything. Will it let me flip that? Or clip it, rather? It will. Isn't that what I want? I think it is, isn't it? Let's just plop it. In fact, let's just create it as a blueprint for now. So yeah, these aren't pumping out the 6 lanes of stone because of this inserter issue, which I could fix with switching them all over to... Well, would they need to be fast inserters? I think they would, wouldn't they? Is this all jammed up? Yeah, we need some voids on this as well. No. Keep that flowing. Because I'm thinking once we've got this in here, we kind of need to know, because it's going to end up as an L shape, isn't it? Because there's no way I'm going to squish all of that into like that area. So actually some of these are going to have to go down and some up, because I need the material to go, like everything somewhere here uses brick. think. Or are these all concrete? Let's go and have a look at that while it just chunks away and hits steady state. So yeah, these need brick. Because I was going to centralise it, wasn't it, I think? Like have the brick coming down the middle. It's going to be quite tricky, this. But yeah, I mean, we know we need more of this anyway. Yeah, you see, this isn't even hardly moving at all. None of these are. Why are you not moving? Because you should be being smelted, shouldn't you? Yeah. It's just not, you know, using the coal particularly. I bet the entire factory could run on like one lane of coal. In fact, why is the gravel one not? Did I don't think you even set this as anything in particular. Why are you not doing what you meant to? Oh, because it's so quick, it can't output it fast enough. Huh. So these all need to be fast. So probably even maybe in stack. And now they're not getting enough stuff because this is like half a second craft time, isn't it? 0.1 per second. Okay. Hadn't anticipated that. Even with, I mean, you know, these aren't actually gonna. We could even take them down to grey machines. I bet. Because this is them running at 3/4 speed. Because, you know, even if we take it down to assembly ones, it's still 0.2 of a second. Because they run at half rate. What does that... Oh. How about I do all of them? Yeah, so 3/4 of a belt now. That's very annoying, isn't it? Because if I did one more machine, 0.2 to 0.67, so it would be 0.88, so it wouldn't even fill. I'd need 5, I think. Could I add them on? I think I probably could, couldn't I? Because so let's take these out. So if I was to add, so if we move this up by, it's a bit tight, isn't it? So I'll copy this up. And then, oh, got a gap there. Same here. don't think that looks too bad, actually. It sort of kind of works, really. Let's get rid of the doors, though, and then rethink them. So, there and there, maybe? Oops. And then... because it's too fast, basically, is the problem. Recipe for the machines I was using. Okay. Actually, let's do it as... No, that's fine. Okay. So if we hook it back up now, what do you do now? Because that, in theory, should be... Oh, it's ever so slightly more than a belt, isn't it? Did I got the maths up there? No. That's fine, it's not going to get a belt. And some of these are, I guess, in a... Still probably... Yeah. Because the recipe's just so fast that it can't... Basically can't get it. Yeah, I like that. So, what's the quickest way of doing that? I guess if I just sort of delete everything and copy paste. And then switch the recipe over. Oh, no, it's the stone one. It's the stone one. And also the lights, I guess, because it's a different recipe. I think I actually did that in the first iteration. That's the stone one. So yeah, we'll get rid of these. I think I've made those too big, haven't I? But so this one will be coal. Black indicator lamps. Coal. No. I guess I'll use the black ones again. Have I got any? No. See, this is why we test. And why I should have tested earlier. So I guess this needs to be the iron. And copy that over. Swap a blue light in. So yeah, you're going to get the odd missed one with this because of slow machines and number of inserters and all this sort of stuff. But yeah. How are we doing with the pollution? Oh, okay. We're okay for the time being. Any errors with looks? No, looks okay. So these all seem to be running. It isn't quite filling the belts. Why is that? Well, for one reason. Oh no, that's because they're feeding in there, aren't they? Yeah, because these don't actually get... Oh! Does this need to be fast as well? Because that's actually absolutely stuffed. And yet this is occasionally... We can't output fast enough. So these all need to be upgraded as well, I guess. Like that. Yeah, now those are coming through as pretty much solid. They'll be, so you always get these odd gaps where you get a weird synchronization, but and then it's not, it can't be a proper test in creative because it's you know, it gives like the max stack bonuses and all that sort of stuff, which I wouldn't necessarily have researched. I guess I would. So let's take one like you. You've got one plate. Just concerned that these inserters aren't transferring stuff in quick enough, basically, because this is a really quick recipe as well. Well, they all seem to be okay. See, it's stopping. I kind of know I like overdid the iron. Anyway, but that's fine. What about this lot? Very slowly chugging out the iron. Yeah, the iron. And convert it to steel. This should be all fine, this, because everything's quite slow. Yeah. And we know it's not even a belt's worth of steel. It's tiny. But that's all we need. Okay. What about the stone brick? We're still getting those occasional gaps, but as I say, I'm not too fussed about that. Okay. Happy with all that testing. Let's disconnect all of these so that we don't get any visits from biters or anything. In fact, let's just get rid of that altogether, because we need basically this setup. But in fact, what did I actually blueprint? Was it the belts as well? Only that bit, okay. Is that already reversed? I think it is. So it needs to be sort of here somewhere, but I'm not exactly sure where, because we need that at the top. I'll make that a 5-laner there. So that's the coal. And then these guys need to be, well, basically the underground for the first stone needs to be there. Yeah. So if I get that blueprint again. Oh, I put in, I guess I put in, gates around it? In fact, let's copy in the undergrounds, etc. as well. So we need to clip that. Pop that on there. Then we take this, and that's the same bit there. There's a good hard think. So yeah, we need a pathway of some description here. So all of this kind of needs to go. Have I spaced it down the bottom here? So I haven't. Okay. What about? Yeah, okay. So this is the fence. No, it isn't. I got that completely wrong. This is the fence. And then a bit of gravel. Oh. Okay. What have I brought up there by accident? Is that on the display? No? Okay. Wow. Green screen's completely failed. Can I adjust that on the fly? So I just don't get technical. Oh, and I'm floating. Technical fixing on the fly. It'll change again. It's because the sun's gone down, basically. So the ambient light is different. Well, it's not. Also, it's because it's rubbish. If I had a better camera, it would have a built-in colour thing, but it's only a dirt cheap Amazon, you know, cost me £40, I think. So, you know. Anyway, there we go. Technical issues aside. Technical issues aside. What am I doing? So, put this gate in. The gate pathway in. That. All the way up there. Then we need another one here. Ah, which doesn't line up. Why doesn't that line up? What have I done wrong there? Oh no, it does line up. That's on the outside. There we go. There we go. Cool. And then same again. Get rid of all of that. Fence in. I have put a gate on that one. Get your gravel in. Okay. Don't have any access point for this, do I? So I'll just punch a hole in it for now. can take this and flip it over, like so. And then we want some underground belts here. So I'll have to work out exactly what I'm doing with the power lines as well. We can fill this in with concrete. At the very least. Let's make sure that's all even, I think. Oh. Keep being a bit over-ambitious, I think, with what I'm thinking I'm going to do, because I was like, well, I'll finish off the brick factory today. I can't see me doing it. It's already half full. I love doing this series, but I don't know. I don't know that anyone is particularly interested apart from me, because it's probably be a better one if I just did highlights or something, or did like recorded the videos. Okay, where would be a sensible place to put a sort of gate into that area? Probably makes some sense if I sort of lined it up with what? With, where is it? Stone gate, yeah. With like this sort of gap here, maybe? It's a bit random and arbitrary, but makes some sense, I think. So this needs to go there. Bought some tickets to WASD, WASD. It's a game conference in London. Went last year. No, did I go last year? Yeah, I went last year to that one. Did I? Because I couldn't go to EGX because I was moving. It was right when I was moving. Which is a shame. So yeah, again, you know, it'd probably be best lined up with something like that. You know, that sort of gap. And I probably need to put it even. But yeah, what my ticket? It's not a tobacco docks though, which is also a shame. Quite like the tobacco docks venue. It's weird. That's why I like it. Why have you... Oh, I guess because I added it in, didn't I? Oh, too far away. There we go. Would that make sense? So, how far do you reach? You reach to there. any access points in this, do I either? Oh, I guess that's what I was going for there. Because it would need to be... Yeah, that's like the highest I can go. How far is it away? It's right next to the fence, isn't it? So, do that. And then what? Kind of need to know how far it is. So, 93. So if we were to go 31. So can I fit that there? No, that won't work. So 93. Divide it into 4. 23 or so. We'll put it there. Oh, I've got those. Squiffed. And then, is there a midpoint? There is, but I can't do it because it's uneven. That's fine. Cool, okay. Okay. So this is the problematic bit. Because it's literally one tile off. That's annoying. That's one tile too high. How about get rid of them? And it just connects there, maybe? And then I can basically have the equivalent of those here. And presumably we're going to need some sort of connection here as well, maybe. Oh, why is that gone? Squiff. Hello, just another RMS. Welcome. I hope you're doing well. Why was that? That's not... Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, okay. I better test that, hadn't I? So if I put... In fact, let's put the things on. Modded, yes, it's modded. So I've got all sorts of mods on this one. They're all minor mods. They're not... I'm doing a series where I'm playing Bob's mods, but this is... Well, I wouldn't classify them as overhaul mods, so we're talking Dectorio, and there's like all sorts of combat mods, there's all sorts basically. Because the idea of this series is, like, so I've got different levels of accumulators, because I want to power each of the factories that I'm building differently, basically, with different types of, you know, things, and I've got burner generators and all sorts of things on, but I would classify all of them as minor mods, so there's nothing that I would classify as like a full-on, you know, Crash Storio 2 or something like that. So I am doing a separate Bob's playthrough at the moment, but that's Saturdays. Oh, cool. Planning out a mega base. So I guess I've sort of been saying technically it's probably a mega base because I've sort of planned the numbers around 1,000 science a minute, but it's not. That's the aim is to produce a sort of an attractive looking factory or set of factories. So what's a good example? So for example, this is my copper smelter, and so the idea is that they look quite good on the map, so I think that looks fairly attractive. Your opinion may differ, but then also they're sort of quite good looking, you know. So this is a copper smelting array. Now obviously it's not hyper efficient because I'm only doing one. Well, it's not even sort of 3 beacon. They get different number of beacons, but I think that looks quite good, you know, with all the coloured concrete and the hazard concrete and all that sort of stuff, patterns around it. And that's what I'm going for. So it's more about the looks rather than the efficiency and all that sort of thing. And then we've got cargo docks here. So I've done all sorts of different designs with that. These are sort of loading islands where they're sort of lay-bys almost. And then this is sort of a different sort of a design. And then we've got. Is this different again? Yeah, that's different again for loading the raw ore. That looks so good. Thank you very much. Anything over 900 science. I say technically, it probably that's sort of what I've been basing the numbers around. But I'm not actually. If it gets, you know, if I switch it all on and it does 600, I'm happy with that. But it should get close. Ultimate aim is this is going to be Science Island. It's got creative mode on as well, so I'm not particularly worrying about, you know, having to build everything. I also cleared the biters out. I was trying to do it properly, but as you can see, the scale of this is just sort of it's enormous. But because I'm building factories that are a long way apart, and for example, this is like the land-based version of smelting. So the other one is delivering it via boat. Destination form. Oh, there we go. And this is the trains, and I've gone with super mega, like those trains you see crossing Australia, where they're carrying bauxite ore, and it's, you know, the train's like half a mile. Well, I think they're longer than that, aren't they? But, you know, multiple miles long. So it's the same sort of design with the actual smelting, for example, but then we've got the whole improvised sort of balancing thing, because it doesn't work. You know, it should really be multiple trains, but I sort of stuck with it. And then we got loading here, and the idea is to go with all sorts of different train lengths and all that sort of stuff. It's every time I think I'm making progress, I realise I've got tons and tons to do. So, I mean, this was like the original base, say, when I was trying to do it properly. And then, as I say, I sort of realised I can't do this properly. I have to do it in creative. I might come back to, you know, switch back to the original one and just sort of blueprint the entire base. And if it doesn't kill my machine, you know, sort of stick it down. But what else have I finished? So the other one I finished recently, or it's not really finished, but it's sort of getting there, is the Steel Foundry. So this is Steel Foundry. And as you can see, I've done slightly different design, and it's sort of 3 sections of smelting into steel. And then we've got the sort of iron foundry up there. So I am trying to do them differently-ish each time. And the one I'm currently working on is the brick factory. I've gotten to the point where basically, so I've kind of decided what I'm making in terms of bricks, because I'm also making concrete and all that sort of stuff for it. But I've sort of got all the supporting stuff nearly done. So we've got, you know, the steel and the iron sticks and all the actual stone bricks. And now the next bit is this, which is going to get quite complicated, which is where I'm turning it all into, because I ended up deciding I am going to make the coloured concrete and stuff as if I was doing it properly, but as I say, because creative's on, I can just stick this down. I don't actually need to build it. But yeah, I'm just going to test basically this, because I've just done it by mirroring, so I've copied it over, so I don't know if it actually works properly. So I'm just going to quickly test it. So I want a void on here. So my most recent project with 300 science spot based. So it said after that. That's no problem. Unfortunately, the links are blocked. You won't be able to post a link, I'm afraid, because I'm, a tiny little streamer. I tend to have it all locked down a bit because, well, also I get a bit carried away, and I don't notice people are in chat and stuff. So there have been, bots and stuff that have come in and spammed links and all sorts of stuff, and I've not seen it, So yeah, I tend to have it locked down. If you did, you can it's not DMing on Twitch, is it? So if you wanted to show me, you could fire something over on the DM, but I probably won't show it on stream, as I say. But that's always an option. Right, let's hook this up and see if it works. So we move those to there. It should be okay, but it's just sometimes you get things that don't quite turn around properly when you flip them and clip them. But we shall see. Link has been DM'd. Okay, I'll take whispering. That's it. I'll have a look at that at some point and say. Are you trying to get? Is 300 sort of where you were planning to be, or are you planning to go larger? I've really only done one, proper mega base. I've actually, I've done loads technically, as I say. If you take it as, it's doing this thing with the. Unfortunately, when you put down burner inserters, because these, I say, it's thematic stuff. As I say, I'm not using modules here. I'm using steel furnaces because it's it's meant to be thematic, but when you do plop them down, burner inserters can go a bit weird. So I just need to manually load some coal in, and then they'll be okay. So I don't really know why it does it, or it's, I say, why it's so random as well. It's very strange. First attempt at a bigger factory. I have over 2,000 hours of Factorio in casual playing. Oh, cool. Yeah, I sort of very similar actually. In fact, almost identical. I think I'd got to about 2,000 hours somewhere around there. And one of the things I'd never done was made a mega base, and so I then decided I was going to do my first attempt, as it were, on stream, basically to force me to do it, because the reason I'd never really, even tried it, to be honest with you, was it always struck me as being a little bit repetitive, sort of doing the same thing over and over again. So what I ended up trying to do, partly to make it more interesting, was, well, I made a few errors. I learnt a lot, which is like the point, but made a few errors in that I just tried to go for 5,000 as a first mega base, and I shouldn't have done that. I should have gone for 2,500 or something, somewhat matched to the belts as well, and then maybe copied and pasted it again if I wanted to try for 5,000. But I built each science build as like an integrated build, so rather than send everything round by train, basically I was sending iron plate, copper plate, steel, that sort of thing round by train, but then I was building everything as like an integrated dedicated build, so and all sort of integrated together. So another mistake I made was going for 12 beacon, Not because of, you know, it made the builds too difficult, but the power demand was just insane. At the end of it, I had, what was it? I think it was 1.2 million solar panels, and it didn't actually run the base. I had to turn military science off because it just didn't have the power to run it. Because everything was 12 beacon, and it's just the power demand is just nuts, basically. Okay, I think everyone's got fuel, so are we all running? Yeah, there's brick coming out of everything. Cool, okay. Okay, now we get the tricky part of trying to convert it all into the different things. But yeah, it's actually, I mean, it was great fun, but another mistake I made was I tried to do outposts. And you get to a point with the scale where outposts are just a really bad idea, basically. What you should actually do, in my new opinion of it, is basically have a single base and just keep expanding the base and expanding it and just grabbing resources that way. Or, you know, if you prefer bigger patches, you know, sort of relocate, basically. So move your entire operation somewhere and just expand outwards. And just grab all the land that you need, basically. Or rather, all the resources that you need. Wait, didn't I? Oh, well, no worries. Right. So I think that's everything set up. So what's going in there? Those are the different. Okay. Now I'm thinking maybe I do this. Oh no. I basically sort of work backwards, maybe. Don't know why I'm not just copying and pasting this. So I sort of hook things up. I don't know, it's going to be a bit tricky, this. Why have I got these belts over here still? Get rid of them. I think I had the maths wrong as well. Or I was a bit worried I had the maths wrong. How about I just take all of these out of the way, like that. So at least got them. Even though they're not, you know, they're not what they need to be. I've got them for reference. Let's move these a bit further, actually. Yeah, because I think I want to keep it within this. So ideally, really, cracky. I want. Is that 5? Why have I got such a big? I don't want it to be that, do I? Really? Why is that not lined up? Okay. So basically, what I'm saying is I want this to be the edge of the assembly hall, or whatever you want to call it, if at all possible. I'm guessing I've tried to mirror this, so actually I do want that there. But this is wrong, which is fine. Yeah. Let's just get rid of those bits. So yeah, I've tried to make it the same size as this corridor, basically. Oops. Yeah, okay. So if I put the gravel on, get rid of the actual thing, but... Oops. So yeah, ideally that's like the edge of the factory. Okay. So... because these are just numbers of machines, they're not actually, you know, viable layouts. Which way round was I going to do it? Don't think that answers that question really, does it? I've put the bricks on, but it's actually, you know, concrete and refined concrete. How the heck am I going to do this? How the heck? How the heckins? I guess what one of the things I could do, because this is the other input, because these are the stone brick. Let's have a think. I could go and work on something else, let my subconscious sort of work on the problem. The trouble is I need like a mixture of things, because that's the iron, unless... would that make any sense? Because these are all just adaptions. Adaptions? They take these coloured ones and the stripy ones. Wait, are there only... oh yeah, there are, okay. But they're just like, it takes a brick and turns it into a coloured brick, so there's no clever recipe side of it. So I'm actually wondering, could I fit all of those into this area? Because then what I could do... could I? So if this ends up going, you know, like up to where it needs to be, these come across. It's a bit naff if they're all separate, isn't it? But let's go with it for the moment. Because the other option, I could take them all up to the top. So basically a reverse of this, so we can have this like glipped over like that. Why are you undergrounding there? Is that not lined up? So that's the coal for the... it should be lined up with the... yeah. So that's there. So then this walkway, or pathway, what have you, could be at the top as well. So effectively we then have something there. And I'm basically wondering if I can sort of take these because this could be further down, you know, wherever there-ish, and then they go there, and effectively then we've got, you know, steel, sticks, stone, bricks, all along the top there. There's no way of fitting all of that into that gap, I don't think. Because let's have a look at the recipe. Let's go have a look at the recipes. Okay. So yeah, this just takes stone brick and turns it into coloured stone brick. This one also requires stone brick, but it requires iron ore. Bum. What did I do with the iron ore? Did I not have... I think I've made an error there, haven't I? Because we need iron ore. What I could do, be a bit weird, because this doesn't actually, so it only consumes 1.3 belts, and I'm feeding it 3, 4. No, I'm not feeding it 2. What about this? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's using 1.5, and I'm feeding it 2. But it's not, because, you know, it's massively overproducing iron plate, which is going nowhere. So there's a couple of belts worth of iron ore there. So if let's do it all. So in theory it needs 2.5, so it's more like 2, and I'm sort of feeding it 4. So there's loads of extra iron ore available on those belts. That one's the gravel. Because what I'm basically thinking, could I do that? Because these are just electric furnaces, aren't they? So what I'm thinking is the excess. So, because this is the iron ore here. So the excess, I just sort of let flow through. And merge it all together. Because this would be excess iron ore as well. Merge it all together into 2 lanes of iron ore. I don't know if that's enough. Oh no, it's only 0.1. So each of those concrete ones. And then that doesn't use iron ore, does it? No. So it's only 1/10 of a belt. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So that's 1.5 belts. So it's not actually the 2.5, but it means we need two belts of In fact, in that case, we might as well have the steel there. So, it's going to need to be up a bit, isn't it? So, basically talking about having 2 lanes of iron ore as the sort of leftover here. Do I want them to be a bit further apart? I probably do, don't I? Yeah. The basic point is whatever I end up with jiggery pokery wise there, we end up with other way around, say, what would it be? It'd be needs to be one further up, doesn't it? Like that. No, one more. So, oh, I'll be back. Oh, and thank you for the follow. Just another Aramis. Yeah, so we end up with let's put my things on. Otherwise I'll probably forget. It's very much appreciated, the follow. Thank you. So which is going to be which? This is going to be iron ore. And then that'll be the same. And then that'll be steel. Oops. And then these are all sticks. And then we'll have 6 lanes. So would that be 3 and 3 again? I'd probably have to be make it look okay. But these then are stone bricks. Now where do they live with all the mods I've got on? That one there. Up there. Oops. So then we just have a sort of a weird bus up the middle. So I've got quite a lot of space there now. And also a massive gap here. That's a bit rubbish, isn't it? Although that would be the feedback. Oh, yeah, these need to go the other way. So these are the lanes of output. So I need to hook those in, basically. Either across or across. I mean, there are quite a lot of these weird coloured ones. And although they're doing something simple, there is going to be quite a lot of belt sort of wrangling. So how about I try and work that out? Because all of these are just like repainted basics, aren't they? Yeah, I don't need anything special. Whoops, anything special on any of them. No. So I just need to feed them the, you know, concrete for stripy concrete and that sort of thing. Okay. Okay. So, what would they look like? And what do I want them in? I guess I need to build them in an appropriate order for how I've set the belts up. Because the idea is they're going to go on different trains. It's a little bit pointless. It's just almost an academic exercise. Because unless I decide at some point to try and build it for real, but then I'm not sure I want to be playing this at the heat death of the universe. So that may not be a good plan. But yeah. Let's see what these are. So, because this is like how it gets weird, because this is all like all of the lanes basically are the coloured stuff, and the other machines just produce a couple of lanes here. It's all a bit sort of strange, really. So where would these be hooking in? So at some point, I guess they're going to be. Wait, so that one's... yeah. So depending on how big they are, they might go across there, mightn't they? So... Wait, why have I got that doubled up? So I've got 2 sets of the... Wait, have I got 2 sets? No, I've just got the one. So I don't actually need... Because these... are these. So I've somehow doubled that up. So I don't need them. In fact, is the whole thing doubled up? Because that's... what have I managed to do there? I wonder if I copied and pasted it for reference and then I've been thinking... because it's identical, isn't it? That's the same ones. I think I've accidentally doubled that at some point. Well, not accidentally. I think I've doubled it in order to try and rework it. I say it's the same stuff. Well, it's not, but it is. There are differences. But you know, that's the same as that one. That's the same as that one. That's the same as that one. Okay. Let's just work on these then. So we know that we need like one of these. Maybe I could do them back to back or something. Which one did I copy? That was the refined? Yeah. And then that one there. So that's not as big as I thought it was, you see. If it's just that, it might be able to fit all of it in there. And then we'd have a nice square, well, squarish factory. Squarish or squish. I do like a squish factory. Right. What next then? So, I've got... what? Oh yeah, I didn't set these because I know I wanted all the hazards together, but I didn't fit them as, you know. So it's just copied the same thing over, but actually it would be refined and regular. Same with these. So I can put them in any order because I've not set an order. Okay. Because for this one I would need to feed refined, and that one it's regular concrete. Okay. But then, because the problem with these is they're like super quick. I'm not actually. I'm going to feed it just one belt, but you see it says 0.667, which gives us a total in theory of 5.3 belts needed. But say I don't want to run them like that, which is a point actually, because actually I should split it then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we need like a 1 to 8 balancer. I mean, that's not too big, is it? That'd work, I think. Because it might look quite cool if it sort of, you know, splits out and then comes back in again. Yeah, what about these then? How many of these I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. Again, theory you need 8 belts, but it's not what I'm going to do. But if it's 12, I could have 2, 1 to 6. I could do something funky about flipping them over, so it's, in fact, probably other way around. And then we can just have a splitter. Splitter. So that's effectively a 1 to 12. Not effectively, it is. Okay. Okay. And then I want this. Oh, it didn't fit. Okay. And this. And this. Oops. Dry tree is in way. Dry tree is in way. Good old dry tree. Because what we've basically got, I think actually, yeah, because we've got regular brick, and that's the only regular brick, and then we've got 2 concrete and 2 refined concrete. So it might make more sense thinking about it in terms of inputs with having these 2 back to back, but they're different sizes. Let's go with them together. But we do have 3 of these, which is quite annoying. Apologies with the sound, I know. Because when it plops down all of them. Or would they? I think they'd all be better if it was like vertical, would it? Because if I'm doing the, I guess it's like a diamond pattern or something. Maybe I could try and do diagonal belts. Or would that just drive me insane? Or maybe what? Would that work? Because then I could have... So if I did... Oops. Which one's that? That's refined, isn't it? So if we have the... like that... Would that work? So if they're... offset... And then the refined is opposite refined. And the concrete is opposite the concrete. Centralised maybe? But then this could be the other way around, you see. And we kind of have... you know, 2 belts of refined. Where would they be? I guess maybe they're in the middle or something. Or we can have them on the outside. So in other words, all of these sort of come together in the middle. I've got all of them there by accident. But a tricky little problem. Have I tried to speedrun? Not really. I've done the no spoons achievement. You know, the achievement where you go, called There Is No Spoon, which is 8 hours, I think. Is that right? One's 15 hours and one's 8 hours, I think. And I did it in loads of time to spare. I was quite surprised. I actually got... So when I tried... Because I streamed the attempt. And I figured... I started it as a series and I thought I'd be going for ages. Because I'm not a quick player. You know, I'm just not a fast player. And I thought I'd be, you know, trying to stream it for, you know, weeks and weeks and weeks. And then... and the first... Because what I did... I set the map up so... biters were rendered, because you have to do it with biters on, but they were rendered pointless. You know, they were sort of, I can't remember, I think they were so far away that, you know, pollution was never going to hit them type of thing. And the resource patches were enormous and all that sort of stuff. And I basically, my idea was to basically play through and, you know, launch a rocket and then blueprint the entire map and then place it down again and do the actual run. And so I thought I'd be spending I thought the first time through would take, you know, 30 hours or something, and then I'd spend weeks optimizing it. But the first time I tried it, I did the 15-hour achievement, and by a couple of hours, I think it wasn't even close, sort of thing. So then when I did a bit of tweaking to optimize it, but then so it's like 3 streams or something that I did in the end. But it gave me a real appreciation for what speedrunners do. I say I couldn't. If I was to speedrun, I'd have to be copying someone else, because I just don't think in the way that would, you know, what you need to do to optimize for speed is just not how I think, basically. Yeah, I think that might be quite cool. So if I go flip them round, basically, and then the central lane, as it were, and then this could be, you know, this way round. So the central thing, you know, like, almost like a bus coming out, is aligned with these here, obviously in a different order, and we can just adjust as appropriate. But where would I want them to actually line up? Because I don't have to have this. This doesn't have to be here. That sounded quite profound. We don't need that. That can go. So I can hook the belts up to anything I want, really. Yeah, I quite like that conceptually. The question really is this. Bringing this over. How much space I want to kind of give it. I don't think any more space than is necessary, really. So, if we were imagining that was there, you know, theoretically. Reference has made a speedrun guide which I'm capable of doing under 3 hours. Oh, right, okay. Have you... well, I was going to say, have you given it a go? I mean, you've just said you've given it a go. Just read your comment properly. But did it give you a sort of a... You know... Because I always sort of think... I don't know, I have mixed feelings with speedruns. It's like... It's sort of a very... I watched the speedrun Reference did in the Games Done Quick, and And I say it's just amazing. Well, he didn't do it, did he? He was commenting on it, I think, and it was somebody else doing it. I can't, not really into the community, but I was just, I was kind of blown away by it. It was just amazing. Some of the things they were saying that you have to do, and it was like, I say I've sort of mixed feelings on, because the whole point of speedrunning is like trying to find ways to break the game. But Factorio, it sounds like they can't because it's so well built, basically. And it's more about like proper optimization of the builds. And they did the stuff like, at the end they were handcrafting a handful of modules type of thing to, because the sort of net effect was that it was, quicker, as it were. So yeah, if I was to do, say, yeah, okay. Could we make this halfway along? Would that make some sense? So it'd be up there, maybe? Is that right? I think that's halfway. But say my brain just doesn't sort of work that way. No. But yeah, I can understand it being quite addictive, and I say it does feel like a very Factorio-y thing to be doing, speedrunning. It's sort of because you're looking for like flaws in the machine, if you see what I mean. If that's not a weird way of putting it. And it's kind of that thing that, Factorio sort of appeals to programmers and, people who think in that logical sort of a way. So I can very much understand it being very appealing. Now, if I attempt to make a diamond shape, what would that sort of end up looking like? So if it was something like that, is that going to work? Or is that just going to be bonkers? So it's not central at the moment anyway. But yeah, I could understand it being quite addictive, sort of trying to optimise a speedrun. If I do that, that's at least central. But then how do I... But yeah, I'd quite like to give it a go, as you say, following the guide and what have you. Optimization not key. Surprisingly, key to successful speed is scaling well. In any percentage speed run, you need 7 to 8 lanes of iron ore and 7.5 lanes of copper. Blimey! Oh, yellow belt. Okay, so there aren't many resources flowing at any given time. It's basically done automatically. Yeah, right. Okay. What would that be? Because that's going to be... Oh, diagonal belts. Why am I doing this? I can obviously move these, couldn't I? Would that give me a better layout? So let's just copy and paste it. Would that be in the right place? That's not too horrendous, I don't think. It's like the fronds of a plant or something, isn't it? Now, do I want there to be a tile like that? Go on, make some spaghetti. Yeah. Trying to avoid spaghetti because although it always looks, it's a bit of a tricky one actually, because I did wonder about doing one of the factories. It's just a spaghetti mess, but I don't know. It just feels, I say it's sort of a contradiction in a sense of, you know, if the idea of this is it's a sort of a highly designed factory that the engineer has put together, then they wouldn't design spaghetti, if you see what I mean. So it's sort of contradictory, but spaghetti bases always look awesome. Oh, as I say, I'm not going for efficiency, so that wouldn't be an argument against it. But as I say, the engineer would have to be some sort of sociopath, I think, to kind of deliberately design a... Where am I actually going to go with that spaghetti style base? Okay, now that does look weird, but okay. Yeah, effects okay, I guess. My opinion, spaghetti when done right looks like a circuit. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just an artifact of Factorio overall. I mean, I think every base ends up kind of looking like a circuit. I mean, I'd say spaghetti probably looks more like a printed circuit board, where like bus builds and stuff look more like a sort of CPU, I would say. But even, you know, they always look, it's just like the Nate, because it's like a very grid based game. It always sort of ends up like, you know, looking like some sort of circuit board, I think. But yeah, I say spaghetti it does always look awesome, you know, when you've finished, as it were. But I think maybe if I move that up, so I'm not sure it fits with the theme I'm going for, really. So are they roughly the same height? Yeah, not far off. Yeah, quite like that. Cool. Okay. So we know we can sort of repeat that. Oops. For this. And if I just copy the recipes over. I don't know how I'm going to decorate it with concrete and stuff there. Oh wait, it needs flipping over as well. Hang on. So it needs to be that way around. Okay. Let's have a look at the 12 one then. Let's take it all the way down there. Again, I can move some of these inserters around. Let's see if I can't. I think maybe this one I go straight into the... Cracky. Bit of a beast. I mean, to an extent, this is just, you know, it is cosmetic, because if you think about it, you're going to end up with the same sort of, you know, if I wanted all of these lanes to have sort of individual things, they'd end up that big anyway. Broadly speaking, I mean, it's not going to be quite right. Because then I would need to go around that corner. There you go. So it's not that, I mean, it's different, but it's not that much different. Well, I say that, it's twice as big, isn't it? But thinking something halfway, because it would be nice for these to be lined up, I think. Halfway between those two, I might cut and paste that, a section of that. Be nice for these to be, not exactly, but similar sort of position for the splitters or something. Where's the midpoint? 2, 4, 6. It's there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So those need, oops, those need to connect. Something like that. Where am I from? As in, so I'm from England. But you mean as in region in England? Lanes would look a lot better. Yeah. I mean, there's going to be a lot of lanes on it, and I think it's just... I think we'll try and do this sort of specific build. It is veering away from the sort of aesthetic of this. Oh shit, England, yeah. So, my accent is a bit weird because my family is from the north of England. So my parents, and in fact all my, relations, have like basically Yorkshire accents. But I grew up in the south of England, so we moved down south. Well, the southeast actually. Oh, got that wrong. What have I done wrong here? When I was 2, so I didn't grow up in a sort of northern speaking area. Oh, it's because I didn't move those, did I? But it meant that at home, obviously my parents had sort of thick northern accents, so I say a few words a bit strangely because it's like so if we go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I just picked up sort of saying certain words in certain ways, or certain, vowel sounds, as it were, in particular. So what I actually want, I guess... What do I want? What do I want? I say, so that's why, you know, it's not the most easily identifiable English accent, but it is. I am from England. I guess we're like, what state is East Europe? Yeah. To be fair, I mean, it's one of the things that I think there's the scale of America is kind of insane. It's an like, and most countries. I mean, England to me feels like a big country, but it's not. It's like it's tiny. I mean, I think basically every American state is bigger than. No, they're not, because it's like Rhode Island and stuff. But it's like, you know, the scale of American states is just, you know, they're basically the size of England type of thing. So yeah, we end up thinking in different, you know, at different scales essentially. What am I trying to achieve here? Are you an American? Are you from America, or? I couldn't work out whether your question was because, you know, you're English and you couldn't work out my accent, or... What have I done there? Maybe I should do... that maybe? Can I just copy and paste that over? Why is that? Or Eastern European, one of Baltic countries. Oh, right, okay. Is that right? Oh, it's because I had a gap there, but I haven't. Yeah, okay. This series is a lot of me doing this, fiddling about with stuff that is more than a little pedantic. So if I was to make this one further down, would that work a little better? Ow. I guess it's because I'm... putting them in different places, aren't I? So it's not going to work, whatever I How do I want it to look? That's the question. Because this would be proper diagonal. It lines up differently. It lines up differently. I could have, I mean, I don't know why because I've used medium power piles all over the place. So why don't I just do that instead? And I can have something. Gives me more options on positions. Right, let's swap them in. No. Okay. So what would I actually need? It would need to be there again, wouldn't it? Because effectively putting them, you know, 3 apart. Not effectively, I am. So that needs to be there. But then that wouldn't work. Because is lined up with a power pole. So we'll just have them all be in the middle. Oops. Trouble is, oh no, that's sort of a pattern, isn't it? Outside, middle, middle, inside. Could I do something similar here? So outside, middle, middle. No, because we know that doesn't work. So if they're all in the middle, oh, of course, there's the extra one there. That's what I'm forgetting. So this is just a pure fluke, isn't it, basically? Because of how I've done it. I've got 4, and here I want to have 6. So that 2 doesn't work. What would be an option otherwise for doing that then? Why don't we do a pattern of 3, and then it resets. So then, what would it then be? It'd be that one, and that one? No. No? That one. It's effectively this pattern. In fact, maybe that's how it works, as it were, so... Oops. What are you doing here? Silly person. It came straight out of the thing, didn't it? So we could move that down 1. And then we have... Wait. These aren't lined up anyway. Idiot. There. Right, now they're lined up. And it didn't work. Well, it will do if I get rid of that. That one there. There we go. Okay. Don't imagine. Yeah, okay, that'll do. Getting bored. Okay. So then we can have input there. Input there. And now I just need a simple matter, a simple matter. A simple case of a simple matter of doing the exact same thing as we've done over here, but better. So this is one further down. Yeah, okay. Because these are then going to turn like that. And obviously this has wait, I've done 1, 2 that like that. Oh, that's not far enough up, is it? That's not far enough up. Because then that can go there. Is that right? So this is concrete. What's that? That's concrete. Okay. So that actually that's going. Both of those are coming down that way, aren't they? Okay, that's fine. Yeah, okay. So is it just the same? So how many have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, that needs to be the middle. There. So it's that. Okay. It'd be nice if it was the same. Height. If I and then no. Why does that not line up? Oh, I guess because there's fewer of them, isn't there? But yeah, okay. But there's a lot fewer of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. This here. What have I managed to do there? Completely biffed that up, haven't I? Was einen Idioten. Right. So the straight bit's coming up. need to be there. Yeah? Because those are the straight bits coming up. Okay. So ideally, I need to connect this to there. Don't think we can do that without a... Oops. Yeah. So it's a bit short. So I need... Oh, wrong one. So I need to decide, basically. We're going to have them go straight here. Like that. Well, it would match that stylistically, wouldn't it? So... I guess that's what I'm doing. Okay. And then what we're doing here. Why am I doing diagonal belt? What an idiot. I was looking at the on Reddit about because obviously they posted the Friday Facts teaser. I was looking at some of the theories people had. A lot seems to be the same sorts of ideas. Have I put that in the wrong place? I have, haven't I? That should be there. Yeah. So we want one more. Yeah, I didn't see anything that was sort of... Wait, what? 1, 2, 3... Oh. Yeah, sort of radically different to what I was talking about yesterday. Somebody was saying that the green one looked a lot like a re-entry capsule, but I couldn't see it myself. It didn't look that similar to me. I mean, we may be doing space as well as water, but so it seems strange to me that they would let what's his name continue to develop SpaceX if actually it's basically what the expansion is, especially after hiring him. And sort of, you think they'd ask him to either make it different or put him under NDA or something, you know. But we'll see, I guess. If only there was a diagonal belt. Well, there is one, isn't there, I think? Which is why you're saying that, actually. But I hadn't intended to do any diagonals. I just sort of ended up doing this. Okay. So if I then take that and flippity-floppity it round. Well, we're going to have these in the middle, aren't we? So I need to account for them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Same again. Okay. And then, so flop that one over. Which should be that key. Yeah. Pop that there. Copy the recipes in. Oh. No, because... Well, yes, but no. This needs to go up, doesn't it? The actual connecty bit. Because I need room for those ones. So if I just pop that there, get rid of those belts. Like that. And then you need to line up there and there. Oops. Have we tried chat OpenAI? No, what's that? It's super powerful AI. No, I know there's the Chat GPT one that everyone was sort of going on about. People get a bit carried away. So as part of my sort of job, I've done some stuff with AI, and people get a bit carried away with thinking it's more than it is, in my experience, because they're not. Well, it's not really AI; it's machine learning which is something a bit different. So, I think I need to move these so that we've got some alignment. So ideally there. Because really, I mean, all it's doing is a lot of AI. What it's doing is pattern recognition. And it's not... whoops. You know, it's not actually intelligent, this kind of thing. But we obviously use that term. So... It's like the, you know, the AI art, where it's not really making art. You know, it's basically, well, kind of stealing other, you know, creativity, really, from actual artists. But what it produces is, you know, looks good. It's not. That's not the sort of problem with it. It's just it's not actually original. It's just, it's like variations on a theme, you know. Because there's pattern. That's what pattern recognition is. So, am I going to have a pathway up here, maybe? Up the middle? Let's assume I will have. It's relatively easy to move these around anyway, but what's Chat OpenAI? You can even write Factorio. Oh, crikey. Same thing, ChatGPT, yeah. So, no, you know, there are... they have their uses, but... you know, you have to sort of recognise their limitations as well. So, this all then wants moving over. But yeah, that's quite impressive if it can write actual Factorio mods as well. So part of the problem with a lot of them, though, is essentially, when we think about that, how it's probably learned to do that is by copying, you know, mods, essentially, written by real human people. And therefore it's essentially infringing on their copyright. It's like, you know, it's not actually created those necessarily. It's just copied what someone else has done. Why are you not deleting? Which, if you did that in real life, somebody'd sue you. Or attempt to sue you, I guess. If you're sufficiently wealthy, it's tricky to do so, but... Why is that? So, that one there. If we're saying that's coming that way, and then that's like a 2 tiles there, isn't it? But it's not the same over here. What have I done wrong? Because they're aligned. So what have I done wrong there? is it the top part again? Because that's the straight bit there, and that's the straight bit there. That's the straight bit there. And that's the straight bit there. What have I done wrong or different? If I just take this. So that's like the module. And if I rotate it. So it looks the same, but it's not the same. Oh, it's because this is the one higher one, and so I'm having to bring that 2 down. But of course it's one higher on that side, so that's fine. Why don't, I mean, given I'm gonna, if I bring all the material there anyway, why am I bothering offsetting them like that? Why not just have? Because this is concrete. I put the refined one. So those are wrong anyway. This one should be here. Oh, well, probably more that that one should be there. I've managed to mix them up. Okay. So in that case, let's take that one over there. So this one needs to be over here. And the flipped over. Well, so this question is going to be out of this world. Do you believe in aliens? In what sense? I mean, yes, I do believe in aliens in the sense that I believe there are alien life forms on other planets. I haven't seen anything that convinces me that they're visiting us or anything like that. It's not beyond the realms of possibility, but from what I understand, so my degree was physics, and what I understand about travelling, you know, across interstellar distances, that sort of thing, it kind of wouldn't be particularly practical to just pop over and, you know, abduct someone randomly, things like that. So I don't believe in that sort of thing, but I certainly believe that there is life on other planets. Just through a sheer statistical... Now, whether it's intelligent life, that's another question again. But from a sheer statistical point of view, it would seem strange that there would be as many planets as there are, and then for none but the Earth to have any planets on would seem odd to me. If you were of a religious frame of mind, I guess that would be a fairly definitive proof that perhaps there was a God and we were, you know, divinely created or whatever. You know, if there were no other life at all. But yeah, I certainly think. Well, I can't remember. I mean, I think the numbers are bigger now with them having done James Webb and stuff, but it always used to be that there were an estimated 10 to the power of 10 suns, or solar systems, as it were, stars in the Milky Way. There's nothing particularly special about the Milky Way. It's a fairly bog standard galaxy. And then there are 10 to the 10 stars, galaxies in the visible universe. Visible galaxy, rather. So, visible universe, rather. So if you just do the maths, for there to only be one planet with, you know, life on it would just seem statistically unlikely. But I say, I'm not sure I subscribe to it being Well, I think there is intelligent life as well. But I think it's probably trapped on its own planet just like us, basically. Oh, wait, yourself, do you believe in aliens? This is looking a bit better. I think I prefer that. I could even maybe take these. Well, that might get very complicated, but we could make all of this diagonal that way and squish this in here. Maybe? Because this is it the same size? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12. No. 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Oh, yes, it is, sorry. So if we just take one of them. Pop that there. Oops. Feels like I should tighten this up, basically. Right, copy these over. Do firmly believe in aliens. I've scattered a lot of normal web and deep web and found some documents that prove the existence of intelligent alien life on Milky Way galaxy. Oh, really? Crikey. Right, crikey. I don't sound insane now. No, it's not insane. It's just... So it sort of feels like I should do, you know, diagonals across here, but what does that look like on the map? Oh, look at that. I like that. Yeah, I think if I move this back... Where to? Maybe to there? That is quite scary to know, to be honest. Also, per documentation that alien life is not carbon-based like we are, they're silica-based. Wonder what kind of trade-offs they have. Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately, if you're talking, you know, long kind of time scales, I mean, well, by silica, do you mean as in it's like, how to phrase it, because it wouldn't be organic life, would it? But if it was silicon based, but as in, because I think we're basically going to be, I would imagine we would end up essentially being either superseded by, or, you know, sort of subsumed into some form of, you know, computer life, basically. So I know the whole Neuralink thing that old Elon Musk is doing is a bit horrendous, because he's kind of basically been torturing animals for the last whatever it's so So there's me going on about fitting all of this in here, and then I've just done this whacking great thing here. But yeah, I think probably, you know, in the sense of silicon-based life, in the sense of computers, essentially, is probably fairly likely. As I say, we don't have AI and stuff at the moment, not in the proper sense of intelligence. But it'll get there, you know. I mean, once you've got proper quantum computing and all that sort of stuff. A lot of that problem is just around sheer, you know, horsepower, effectively, of computing, rather than technical unfeasibility. I think I need more room, don't I? Because if I'm going to hop, skip and a jump across there... Oh no, that'll work. Like that. So, does it matter how I've actually connected these? Well, it doesn't, because... Wait, what were they again? Have I think I've accidentally deleted yes, oh, I have, haven't I? Oh. I've deleted the thing that had the order that I put those in. It's organic life, we use carbon a lot, they use silicon, okay. It's a different building block, but put simply. I want to go to some stuff. Good luck. I hope I'll catch you tomorrow. See ya. I only stream weekends at the moment. I used to stream Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, but I changed job, and my new job is like really heavy. It's like I'm knackered by the end of it, so I haven't yet sort of got to the point where I can stream Friday and Monday as well. So I'll be back next Saturday. So I stream. Well, I've sort of gotten a bit wonky actually because it's a bank holiday with a new year. But I stream from 6 o'clock on Saturdays, and then from 3 o'clock on Sundays. Usually do 3 hours plus. We're at 3.5 now or so. But yeah, so I'll be back next Saturday. I used to stream Fridays and Mondays as well, but I say that was because I used to have a job that I didn't actually find all that challenging, so I used to sort of have a lot of mental capacity and time and stuff. Have I just deleted this list? I have, haven't I? I don't suppose I've got it in my thing. But yeah, I'm nearly done for today anyway. But the Saturdays I'm playing Bob's. Have I got it anywhere? No, I've just blooming deleted it, haven't I? Why have I got 8 of these? This is the question. I might have to load up an old save file and copy it across. That's annoying. Because we had coloured bricks. That's what it was. So these, and in fact, let's put it in. I don't know if I can catch this. Yeah, of course, yeah. Forgot about that. Yeah, so these were going to be the stripy ones, I think. But yes, thanks for joining me, and thank you for the follow and the good luck wishes. I'll be back on Saturday with Bob's, and then Sunday I'll switch my other series because I like to have a big gap, and that lets me forget what the heck I'm doing. But that'll be my blueprint series where I'm trying to build myself a sort of standardised set of blueprints. So at the moment I'm testing the blueprints that I've made. And we're about to finish bots basically, which is, I'm not sure if I want to do much more testing than that, but certainly we'll be streaming for 3 hours. So if I can get some bots up and running. If I do finish it, I'll switch over to actually Yeah, and then these need to be the colour bricks, don't they? You know, more of the design work. Because it's secretly another Megabase series. But I'm trying to get it so that I can basically, you know, do Megabases like quicker, basically, because it took hours when I was doing it before to even get to rocket launch. I don't need, you know, if I'm going to do another series, you know, doing it properly, then I need to be able to get there quickly. Right, so basically this one, these two. But yeah, so thanks for joining me anyway. And thanks for the follow, etc. I think I'm just going to hook this up. And then call it a day there. I don't know, say, I could squish it all up. You know, put it like up here. And that gets me this space on the side here. But what am I going to do with that space? Because I could put maybe that one in, the flat panel one. Whatever it's called, the concrete grid one. But there's not going to be enough room to put the or wood there. There might be, you know. Because I could put the builds to make the material. So in other words, rather than come down from here, these could be, you know, the builds I need to make these. Because I only need one lane of each. Oh, yeah. So I need 2 lanes for that, 2 lanes for that, and then the 1 lane from that. And obviously that's coming from here anyway. And it could all move down as well. Doesn't have to be so high up. Aliens, eh? Who'd have thunk it? I mean, this could move over as well, couldn't it? It could come up that side, which would allow me to bleed the resources. Because at the moment, I'm taking like the steel all the way around there, in order to bring it down here. Whereas it might be more sensible if it was going up here to start with. And that would also let me, I could get rid of these power poles. Could do something slightly different. Maybe bring the power, you know, that way. And then we could squish it up even more. Yeah, I think I'm done anyway. I'm absolutely starving. Because I wouldn't need the fence either. Well, I would, but we could line it up here, couldn't we? I think I'm going to put a note on the map, so I try not to forget. So if I put reverse this on here and tighten this up like that. Not going to be able to squish it too much in that way. But there's nothing stopping me, like shifting all of this up. It'd be nice to have it be sort of even. It's not vital. And if I had to move this down to make it even, I've still got, I could have more space. Oops, more space here. Have these be longer lines type of thing. Of course, it wouldn't. Yeah, it wouldn't matter. Yeah. Okay. So I think I'm done for today. Right. So that's it. Let's pop my schedule up. At least the green screen's not gone nuts again. Right then, so there we are. That's it for today. I will be back this next weekend. Obviously, technically it's Monday today. Bank holiday Monday. But we'll be resuming the normal schedule. The normal 6 PM on Saturday and 3 PM on Sunday. Saturday will be Bob's again. And Sunday we will switch over to the Blueprint series, where I will keep testing those blueprints. Yeah, that's it basically. So I want to do more. I want to do the Friday and Monday again, but I say it's just too much with how the job is. In theory, the job will ease off. Well, everyone kept saying the job would ease off after January. It's not going to. It's going to be completely manic until, I don't know. Certainly, what would it be? June, so summer basically. I think it might ease off a little bit, but I don't think it will, to be honest with you. I think the manicness with the one project will be replaced by manicness with like 4 projects. Seems to be the plan. But yeah. Crikey. So yes, so that's it for today. I say, if you wanted to catch up with any of my series, so this one, Bob's, the Blueprint series, any of my old series, the the No Spoons run, my Megabase series, several playthroughs of Dyson Sphere program, one of Satisfactory. Then they're all on my YouTube channel, which you can get by going to Trismegistus as well. But it is alias to Triggle, so either of those will let you find it. That's it. So all it remains for me to say is, if you have been watching, I hope you've enjoyed it and you might consider coming back for another one. I've been Trismegistus. This has been Factorio. Thanks for watching. Cheers.